This is a dev diary for my point-and-click adventure Paradise Falls. Game about a man who thinks he's responsible for the death of his daughter and goes searching for her in a mostly abandoned town. He meets along the way others with similar obsessions and uncovers dark secrets about both himself and the town. When you start making an indie game for the first time, you probably have one of two objectives: make a game that you can sell and earn a living, or produce something that you can look back and be proud of. A creative outlet for an idea you probably had while sat on the toilet or in the shower. But making a game is a daunting prospect. For most, the coding principles needed to make a video game are the barrier. And for me, this is definitely the case. I want things to happen on the screen at the right time when they're supposed to happen. In the past, I haven't really cared how it happened, as long as it happened. When Dennis, my main character, dials a number on his telephone, I want the game to respond accordingly by either putting me through to the right person or telling me that I've dialed an incorrect number. Here's the code for this particular puzzle, and as you can see, as you press each button, a number is entered into a label, and if the number corresponds to one of these if statements, it will give you some dialogue. If the number of digits exceeds 6, and none of this criteria has been met, then the whole thing resets. Fine, it works, right? I guess so. But is there a right and wrong way to write code? Apparently there is. Readability. I've been using magic numbers all along, variables within my code which mean nothing when looked at in isolation, but numbers which relate to a desired outcome. And since outcomes are all I've been focused on and nobody reads my code, I thought I was doing okay. However, anyone coming along and reading my code will have a tough time understanding what I'm trying to do and probably consider it extremely amateurish, which of course it is, because I'm the guy who wants the thing on the screen to do the thing when I press the thing. But readability does matter. I don't sit and make the game every day. Sometimes weeks will go by and I haven't touched it. I start by replaying what I've done to remind myself of characters and story, but when it comes to the code, I rely on annotations. So although no one needs to read my code, it has occurred to me that by improving my coding skills, I am actually making life easier for myself to pick up the game and continue production. Take a look at this Tumblr lock, which at the moment is just some sprites randomly placed in an incorrect map so I could test the concept. I've previously used lots of linked if statements and Boolean global variables. This is both time consuming and messy. With the help of a professional programmer, this combination lock now works with an array. The other concept I have learned is enumeration, which to my understanding takes some of these magic numbers I've created and gives them names. Here I want my NPC to be walking around the room rather than animating one place like I've done in the past. Naming the different states of walking makes it easier to read rather than just using 0 for standing still and 1 for walking left and 2 for walking right, for example. Now I'm not saying I've mastered any of this by any stretch, but what I would say is don't be afraid to show your code to someone, particularly someone who knows what they're doing. Be open to criticism and don't rely stubbornly on what you know just works. You never know, it may just improve your project in the long run.